Uh, hey, folks. It's been a while since I. Good lord. What fucking phlegm did I have in my throat to start with? Jesus Christ. I nearly died. Well, I haven't done one of these in a while. I hope everyone's been well. Right now, Hyena Vermin Hands is doing her first stream and just catching up on stuff. And it occurred to me I haven't talked to you folks in a while. Man, first of all, sorry about that. I don't know if I've even done a Patreon video since since moving. Well, whatever the case may be, I'm happy to be here with you now. Thank you for supporting me. It really does mean a lot to me. I know only a few people, relativistically speaking, are going to see me say this, but Patreon is probably the most stable source of income I get. I'm trying to diversify my income. I want to do this for a long time, but who the fuck knows where YouTube's going to be in 5 years? Who the fuck knows what's going to be going on? I just want to make sure my content is diversified to the extent that I can weather any future misfortune. So thank you for helping me with that. It really does mean a lot. Anyhow, man, where do we go? Well, the stream's been doing pretty well. Viewership tends around between 1 to 2K usually when I stream. It needs to get more though. I'm ambitious, I want it to be as big as it can be, bigger the stream, the more people I can reach, the more advocacy I can engage in, the more opportunities I'll have to speak at larger events and so on and so on to get bigger polls. A lot of it is just a matter of time, but I'm always wondering what strategies are good for moving forward. One thing I'm always really curious about, what kind of content do people actually like to see from me? And what's more, when people say they like to see X kind of content, is that because that's actually the most popular kind, or is it because that kind of content appeals most to the sentiment of people who are already watching me? I don't really know. I mean, I stream enough, I can probably do a wide range of content. Whatever the case may be. Let's just chat. You and me, okay? Let's have a doozy, alright? Just you and me, alright? Heart to heart. How have you been doing lately? That's what I want to know. I hope you've been taking care of yourself. I hope you're not donating to me if you can't afford to. I hope you've been taking care of yourself. That would be nice. Obviously, society's in a bit of a rough state right now. A lot of us are saddled with debt we can't really do much about, and that sucks. But there are things that we can do on an individual level to, make our days a little bit nicer. And that's what I want to encourage from you, okay? You know what you should do? You know what you should put some effort into? You should try pushing outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Sometime this week, this upcoming week, today's Sunday. You should think, hey, it'd be really fun. What if I took a walk in this area? What if I went to the local crafts fair? What if I went to a local card shop or like a game shop, where they sell the graphic novels and they have the little magic tournaments? Some little thing like that. Maybe I could go to a party. I don't know. There are a lot of sad people in my community. I think there are a lot of sad people in most online communities these days, especially politically radicalized ones, because, people who are most likely to recognize that there is something wrong with the way society works are usually the ones who aren't benefiting the most from it. Usually the sadder people. So, with that in mind, maybe try to experiment with new and compelling ways to live your life, because you might end up stumbling on something that works a little bit better for you. I'll give you an example. I am very much a homebody. I love just being at home, and if without any external stimuli changing my behavior, I will pretty much just stay home and just play games. I'm pretty much okay with that, and listening to podcasts and stuff. And now I have to stream, of course, but, point remains. And And I didn't really like living with other people, you know? I like being able to just do whatever I want, jerk off, and just fucking just without any care in the world. But now I live with a partner, a hyena, vermin hands, my big booby GF, and being with her has really helped me appreciate the value of being around other people. I also like having a roommate. There's something very grounding about having a roommate. Someone who you live with who isn't an intimate partner. There's a different dynamic there. With an intimate partner, you can just walk around naked. You can shit on the floor. You can just shit. You can just walk from the bedroom to the kitchen and just poop. And it'll make a big old mess. But it's your partner, who cares? But with a roommate, there are certain standards you have to keep to, certain levels of cleanliness and decorum and respectability. And this increases even more when more people come over. And while sometimes that can be really annoying, and I do miss being able to just shit wherever, there's a tremendous benefit to being able to being subject to the kinds of pressures that you would in a community setting. I'm so hungry, holy shit. Because we should live communally. I don't mean that in some hippy-dippy tribal Burning Man shit or anything. I just mean, I really do think that, for the most part, society would function. I think this is one of the reasons why people reminisce about college so much. It's because of dorm life. It's not just, I went to classes and it cost $6,000 that semester. No, it's the dorm living. It's being in a bedroom with yourself or just one other person. To go out, you've got the kitchen there, but 5 other people use that kitchen, and sometimes people bring friends over, and a lot of memorable shit happens on account of those circumstances. You're around different people. They're not your intimate partners, and they aren't necessarily your friends, so you don't really control each other's behaviors that much. You're subject to what they do and bring, and they're subject to what you do and bring. And sometimes this can be really fucking aggravating, and sometimes it can be really cool, and a lot of weird stuff can happen. I have so many fond memories of dorm experience, interesting things would just happen as a product of me being around people who do not necessarily conform to my domestic expectations. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. I think that's something we should pursue more often in society. Not as not like everyone has to be organized into communes or anything, but that mentality. Make the workplace a little bit more social, Maybe stop with the fucking suburban sprawl where everyone just gets locked into their own little 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and with the white picket fence where you can't interact with your neighbors and you don't know the name of the person across the street. Maybe we fucking stop with that? It's a product of the liberalization of society, the hyper-individualization of society, that basically every individual component of what used to be social interaction has been made individual. We used to live communally, and now we have actually rather big sometimes, houses where the hallways are too large for us and we just walk around emptily in these spaces. And some of you I know probably live in tight apartments, and I did too, mind you. I'm not speaking entirely from a position of privilege there, but we were walled off nonetheless. Our food collection and cooking used to be communal, but nowadays you just either have your family do it or you do your own shit, your own little ramen packets. There's not much of an event surrounding it. Our travel used to be communal. We had to protect ourselves, and there were a lot of concerns with health during travel, for older civilizations. And nowadays everyone just drives a car. We don't even use trains or buses if we can help it. We just lock ourselves away in an air-conditioned box and listen to stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's a tremendous amount of convenience to all of this. There are benefits, and I think that these should be available as options to people who benefit most from that lifestyle. There are some people who genuinely want to be left alone, but for most of us, I think it just makes us lonely. I think it's just a very, very alienating process. wake up to an empty house, get up, make food that you bought pre-packaged from a grocery store, from people you don't know, from corporations you don't care about. Get in your car and drive for 45 minutes to work. You're stuck in traffic. You're surrounded by people, but you don't know about or care about any of them. You're just in your metal box. Listen to the radio. Go to work. In work, everyone is being pushed so hard to be, as efficient and bureaucratic and disciplined as possible. It's often very difficult to make friendships at work. The way that workplaces function in capitalist societies, it's very alienating, not just from the labor, but from your coworkers too, Imagine if you collectively owned a business. Sure, I mean, I'm not saying like to turn into a party, you're still working, but if in a collectively ownership, it's with collective ownership, I conduct myself apparently much less severely off stream. With collective ownership, I imagine, and I think this could be backed up fairly reputably, there'd be more of a communal spirit to the workplace because you're all working together towards something you have a collective interest in seeing succeed, as opposed to you just showing up for your 9 to 5 to benefit some businessman you hate, or have never even met in your life. And then you get the commute back home in an empty box. And then you're home. And maybe you have a partner there at home. Maybe you arrive after them or they arrive after you. You both have to work. It's also depressing. It doesn't have to be like this. This isn't even the most efficient way to organize society. It's not like we're minimizing the amount of resources used and maximizing the outcomes when our society is organized that way. Not even close. It's not even close to being efficient. It's profitable to certain people. Not very efficient. Anyway, I don't mean to be all doomer about this. I think, if anything, there's some solace to be found in the idea that not only are there ways to organize our society where people aren't fucking miserable all the time, but there are probably things you can do in your life to make, your own life a little more communal too. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to have, to be in a big house and to just have like 4 or 5 close friends and I'll live there with them. I thought it was always pretty nice. I don't have many IRL friends because I'm a homebody. I don't get out much, and I don't have much free time these days either. But I've always had that idealization in my mind, and I know that if I worked really hard, I could achieve it. Even if I don't have the discipline to achieve that, that doesn't mean you guys can't necessarily either. If that socialization, that community aspect of life is something that you sort of strive for, if it's something you want, fucking do it. Find a way. It's possible. Not for everyone, no, but it's worth trying, isn't it? And even if you don't succeed in every way, there still might be some ways in which you improve things for yourself. I don't know. I'm rambling here. But I guess that's kind of the point of these videos, isn't it? More personal. Anyway, love you folks very much. I hope you all have a phenomenal day. And give me money. Give me money.